Hey guys, my name is Emma and today I have a book haul for you. Specifically, I have an ebook haul for you. So this is probably the first big book haul on my channel, which is really exciting, and it is entirely ebooks. I will have a physical book haul coming out very soon because I've got a stack of about 15 books that I have picked up quite recently. However, my partner and I are going for a day trip to Ely quite soon, and they have a fairly fabulous independent bookstore which I just know that I'm going to buy some books from. So I figure I'd hold off for the physical book haul until after this coming Friday because I'm guaranteed to buy some more, so we might as well wait. However, whilst I've got some time, let's film my ebook haul. So this is the e-reader I'm currently using. It is actually my mum's old e-reader. So this is one of the OG original Kindle e-readers when they first came out like a decade ago now. You can see it here. It still has a keyboard. Look how cute that is. Like, what has a keyboard these days, seriously? So my mum and I both got e-readers at the exact same time. They were Christmas presents for both of us. She got hers from my dad, I got mine from my boyfriend at the time, a lovely bloke called Chris. And it was when they literally first came out. Now, my e-reader broke quite a few years ago now. I think I had it for about 4 years before it broke. I went on a skiing trip with university and there were some dodgy plugs in the chalet that we were staying in, and they pretty much fried all of our electricals. But we didn't realise this until after leaving, that literally everybody's blown out. It also destroyed my I had like a, what was it? It was like the Siemens A55 block phones. They were wicked. It destroyed my one of those. Like, nothing destroyed that. That one survived being buried in a snowman for 3 hours. And yet one trip to France, pff, gone. So anyway, I didn't have a physical e-reader for quite a few years because I just didn't bother getting a replacement. Instead, I downloaded the app on iPad and phone, but I've been finding recently that reading with like a backlight has been really messing with my eyes, especially before going to bed, and that whole kind of blue light vibe. So I was looking at picking myself back up a proper e-reader from Amazon for quite cheap. But my mum mentioned that she really doesn't use hers anymore at the moment. So she's let me borrow hers, and then if I end up using it quite a lot, I probably will upgrade to a new one fairly soon, because whilst this is brilliant, it is old, the interface is not great. The battery's not great anymore, and it doesn't have any covers. I know that's such a weird thing to be bothered by, but if I show you what I mean. Turn this bad boy on. Takes a while to respond to things. Look, it's just got the lines of text, like it doesn't have any of the covers of what the books are, and that's how I really recognise what kind of a genre the book is. So, and like what author it was linked to, and like, you know, I'm a real sort of visual learner. So for me, I'm really struggling to remember why I was interested in half of these because I don't recognise the titles, which is terrible. So yeah, so I probably will upgrade this after Christmas. However, I thought it'd be good fun to show you a bunch of books that I have on here. After this unbelievably long introduction, let's get to the books. I have 34 books to cover today, so probably should have kept the introduction a bit shorter than what I did. So some of these are ones that I've bought, and some of these are ones that were already on the Kindle because it was my mum's, and when she gave it to me she hadn't unregistered it. So when I deregistered it, loads of the books from her accounts stayed on the Kindle anyway, so I managed to get about 15 books out of that, which was pretty wicked. So I'm going to run through the ones that were hers first, I think, assuming I can remember. They've now kind of got jumbled in together. Of these 34, I have actually read 4 of them already. So let's get started. I'm going to literally sort of blitz through this fairly quickly. So the first one that Mum had was The Hair with the Amber Eyes by Edmund de Woll. I know very little about this book other than it was very, very popular a couple of years ago. I remember when it came out, I think I was working at Waterstones at the time. It has a gorgeous cover. Again, another reason why I'm depressed. I don't get to see that cover with this. It sounds... I remember a lot of people raving about it. It's one of those ones that had a lot of hype around it, so I figured I'd keep it on there anyway. Okay, I was just trying to look up what one of the books was, and it turns out that this just isn't working. This is what I mean by the interface not really doing a very good job. Like now, if you have like Kindle on app, and I'm assuming the new Kindles, you can look up book descriptions quite easily, and this is just trying to load up the Amazon buying page, but it's not letting me scroll on it at all. For a lot of these, it's just going to be a title, and I will throw like the cover up here because I've no idea what they are. So we've also got The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. Stardust by Neil Gaiman, which I do know what that one is about because they made a movie into it. No, they made a movie about it. I've seen the movie, it was quite good. I've not read much Neil Gaiman, definitely going to keep it. Twilight of the Gods and Other Tales by, oh no, now I don't get to know. Richard Garnett, absolutely no idea. Limitless by Alan Glynn. This one is a crime thriller type one, and it's about a bloke who ends up taking these performance enhancing drugs that unlock a percentage of his brain, and it means that he can become limitless. In theory, his brain works at a significantly higher speed. Again, I've watched the movie. I think it has Bradley Cooper in it. I really enjoyed the movie, and there's now a Netflix original series for it, which I have not watched but keep meaning to, and I know that the book and the movie have very different endings, so I'm quite excited to get to the book. So thank you, Mama, for that one. Then we have The Small Hand by Susan Hill. Susan Hill did The Woman in Black, which is phenomenal, so definitely kept The Small Hand. Know nothing about it. I'm assuming it's a ghost story. It looks quite short on here, so psyched for that one. The Snow Child by Owen Ivey. Absolutely nothing, no idea. The Crystal Skull Murders by Kent Conwell. No idea. Sorry about the traffic, by the way. It's like rush hour right now, and I live on like a crossroads, so there's people honking and beeping out there. There's motorbikes, and I really can't be bothered to kind of pause like I normally do when I'm filming when it's this time of day. So you're just gonna get all the traffic noises. Tough. Who else do we have? No, that's my one I already have. The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is another one that does the rounds, very, very hyped up. I've seen so many booktubers rave about it or say that it's been on their TBR because they've heard people rave about it. I can visualise the cover immediately. It was huge when I was working in the bookstore, so definitely at some point would like to get to it. The Boat Builder's Bed by Chris Pearson. I think that's a bit of a raunchy, risque romance novel. There were a few that Mum had on here, and I have a fair few raunchy romance novels on Kindle as well that kind of got added to the collection. So I think this is one of the ones that I decided to keep because it looked like my brand of raunchy, which looks quite entertaining. Blood, Sweat and Tea by Tom Reynolds. This looked like it was, I think this is a autobiography by somebody who works for the ambulances, is one of the kind of the what they called EMTs, like response people. Given I enjoyed Adam Kay's book, which I read in September loads, I figured that it would be interesting to try another one in that kind of same sort of biography genre, so it saved that one. The Phoenix Conspiracy by Richard Sanders, not a clue. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, that one I do know clearly. We all know Frankenstein. I'm hoping I might try and get to it at some point in October with the whole Halloween thing. Got a few Halloweeny readathons coming up, so hopefully I can get to that one. Fractured Lives by Hugh Thomas, not a clue. The Slap by Christoph Solesk, sorry if that was pronounced wrong. So I actually started The Slap in audiobook form about 3 months ago now, but the C word gets mentioned very early on, which in audiobook form is a little bit startling, so I decided to back away from that. But I've not ruled out The Slap in general, because again it's one of these ones that got mentioned so often. It was such a like huge book when it first came out. That and Room by Emma Donoghue just like completely smashed the charts when I was working at Waterstones, so I figured given it was on here from Mum anyway, that'd be interesting. And then the final one that is from Mum's collection is The Seventh Gate by Richard Zimler. Again, I got nothing. I think most of Mum's ones fall into either literary fiction or slightly fantasy magic-esque type books. That's the general gist of what it seems like hers are falling into, so that's kind of what I'm expecting from them. Right, we're now going to roll through my ones that I bought recently, because like anything, having a Kindle, like a physical Kindle again, means that I've been on the lookout for ebooks, and Amazon do great deals where they have a load of books for like £1 or £2, so I've been on a bit of a shopping spree recently. So I have a collection of books that I've bought recently. I said that I'd read 4 of them already, so I'll roll through those ones. I've read Brain on Fire by Suzanne Callahan. Brain on Fire is a autobiography about a woman who starts to, basically her brain starts to betray her, so she comes down with all these crazy symptoms, and it's about her trying to get a diagnosis and treatment that gets her back to being where she was before. I'm going to talk about it more in my wrap up clearly, but it was really, really cool. Then I picked up the whole Paper Magician series by Charlie N. Holmberg, which there are 4 books in the series. There's the Paper Magician, the Glass Magician, the Master Magician, and the Plastic Magician, and I've read the first 3. Now, as far as I'm aware, the first 3 follow, they're almost like a trilogy, and they follow the same group of characters, and then from what I've read online, the plastic magician goes off and follows a slightly different group of characters, which is why I've kind of put a little bit of a breather in between. It's a YA fantasy series. I'm going to talk about it more in my wrap up, but generally it was awesome fun. Now, my new books. I got Daughters of the Dragon, which is something to do with China, by William Andrews, which looks kind of cool. I've got The Thief of Time by John Boyne, which is another one of these, somebody's suspended in time, they no longer age, and what happens with that. So I read recently How to Stop Time, which is by Matt Haig, which is flipping awesome and is on a similar concept. And there's also the movie The Age of Adeline, which is amazing for this. I linked these two together in a video that I have, which is if you liked this, try that movie and TV edition, where I combine various books with various TV shows or movies that are very similar, and I talk more in depth about both How to Stop Time and The Age of Adeline in that one. So if you do want to go and see that, I'll chuck it down in the description down below, as well as a bunch of other recommendations kind of sort of going across media as such. So yeah, I think that's out by the time you're going to see this. I don't know. Life is so crazy at the moment. All of my filming's got out of order and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So hopefully it's posted, and if not, look out for it. What else we got? The Invisible Library by... it's not telling me. By somebody. The cover will be here. For some reason it's not coming up on here. This is book 1 of a series. I've heard good things about it. It's... I can't quite remember. It's one of these ones that like you recognise the name popping up again on BookTube, and I saw it for crazy cheap and was like, bye. Just because I know that several people have definitely mentioned it, even though I can't remember much about the plot. Then I've got The Sewing Machine by Natalie Fergie. This has been on my Goodreads TBR for quite a while, and it's a historical fiction that looks at sewing and sewing machines from 2 different generations. Both my grandmothers, who are now have now passed away, were very into sewing, so I really enjoy books that describe sewing and fabric crafts in various different ways, so I'm really keen on that one. Then we have Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. This is a sci-fi romance as far as I'm aware. Can't remember too much about it, but it popped up as a recommendation on Goodreads when I was reading Hold Back the Stars, so I'm quite keen on it. I Am China by Zhaolu Guo. I might have pronounced that wrong, I'm so sorry. Can't remember anything about it. It's on my Goodreads TBR. It was quite cheap. I'm going to assume that it's cool. We'll find out. Then we have Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. If you've watched my Banned Books-a-thon TBR recently, you will know that I am reading that for that. The Enchantress by James Maxwell, which is the Evermen. It's book 1, Evermen Saga book 1. Peridito Street Station by China Melville. This is one of my to be read pile for a century. We've got Witchmark by C.L. Polk. Morsel Engines by Philip Reeve. Last Rituals by... oh no, it's not coming up with the title again. The author even. That's a crime book set in Iceland, which I'm really excited by, which was recommended to me by a viewer. So there was a comment, so thank you very much for that. I am reading that one. Which I've put on my TBR for the Banned Book-a-thon, so I'm going to try and get to that one as well. Dystopian fiction from the 1920s. So that was all the books that I have for my ebook haul. This was super speedy. Hopefully my physical one will go into a bit more detail. I hope you have a wonderful time, whatever it is, and I will chat to you soon. Goodbye.